everything, right from putting a 3-month-old baby into the swimming pool to never saying no for literally anything. I led a very fortunate childhood. I would say I was highly extroverted since, well, the day I was born. For most of you out here who know my mom, you know why. I thrived in social situations right from when, like 12-year-old me entering the school annual day to participating in elocution and debates to since the age of 13, hosting award shows for Orchid Awards. Life was going great until one fine day on a gloomy evening about a decade ago while I was home alone. I started feeling like the walls are closing in on me. I felt this acute pain in my chest, my palms started sweating. I had no idea what was happening to me, so I frantically called my mother, who said, you know what, just take a Gelusin, it'll be fine. But nothing seemed to help. Cut short to 2 days later, I felt it again and again and again. It wouldn't go away. This added on to sleepless nights and constant fatigue. Feeling helpless and not wanting to talk to my parents because I didn't think they would understand me. I did what any other teenager would do, right? Spoke to my friends about it. A couple of days later, a friend of mine told me she's going through something similar and her parents took her to see a psychiatrist, and that worked wonders. So then I decided, not having any money to pay for it, I have to tell my parents. Caught off guard and overwhelmed, they asked me what happened. After spending over an hour trying to explain to them what is going on and not finding the right words to articulate the very feelings, I felt like there was nothing that could help. How do you explain to your parents you can't seem to get out of bed? They're going to blame it on too much screen time or lack of exercise. I somehow convinced my parents to book me an appointment with this miracle worker. In my first session, we spent an hour together and I was diagnosed with a panic disorder and clinical depression. He prescribed me with a 6-month course of medication and that was it. Off I went. During the 6-month course, I realized I had to study psychology. Not for anything else, but selfishly enough to better understand myself. To understand my symptoms. To understand the different forms of interventions and treatment available today. The medication had side effects such as hand tremors and indigestion, so we decided to take a second opinion. This time I visited a psychologist who used visualization techniques, which worked for a month or so until that stopped working too. I then went through almost 4 therapists after that until I finally found a therapist years later. Who used a more holistic approach. So my self-talk suddenly turned from, the blame frame to ownership and accountability. That's when I realized therapists are a lot like clothes, One size doesn't fit all. And it's okay to go out there, try, explore until you find the right fit. But if medication is their first resort, it's definitely a red flag. With the widespread awareness of mental health today through awareness of campaigns, social media, thankfully people are more well informed of the various courses of action available. To all the people out there, it's so important to communicate with your loved ones if you need help. And to all the loved ones out there, I cannot stress enough on how important it is to reciprocate and support them. Through this journey, please don't shame them, please don't be dismissive of it. It's not easy to ask for help. Apart from going to therapy, the circle you surround yourself with is extremely important. It has a huge role to play in either uplifting your healing process or stunting it. We all have mirror neurons dispersed in various parts of our brains. And these mirror neurons are constantly paying attention to the people around us and their emotional state. Once it identifies their emotional state, guess what it does? It mimics it. It mirrors it. It's called emotional contagion. So stress can be contagious, for example. If you go home stressed to your family, you're likely to feel a little stressed too. Or if one of your family members is stressed and you go home, it's likely to rub off on you as well. However, this works on the positive side of the emotional chart as well. If you show up energized, pragmatically optimistic, enthused, others will catch that. This is why your close circle is so important. Growing up in a family where spirituality was fed to me for breakfast, lunch, lunch and dinner. I mean, of course I was aversive towards it, right? In the pandemic, however, I began my own little spiritual journey by beginning my day with a gratitude meditation. I then went on to sort of adding some chanting, and then I slowly graduated to the daily affirmations. And what I realized is it's so important to go slow when you're making these big changes instead of suddenly jumping to something, because you get your body and your mind used to this rhythm, to your new normal. That being said, I also ensure to allocate time outside of my daily routine to do things that make me happy. It could be something as simple as dancing for a couple of minutes, taking my dogs out for a walk, or even watching the sunset. For different people, different things work. So this could mean cooking, this could mean gardening, this could mean going to the gym for you. Whatever works for you, a little something in your day that you just do for yourself. I would like to end by saying a 10-year-old child can suffer from depression and an 80-year-old woman can suffer from anxiety. Mental health has no age bar. And it's never too late to ask for help. And if you feel like someone in your circle or someone you see around you is suffering, please reach out to them. If they're showing symptoms, you can guide them. Like, we have a lot of people here telling you what are the things you should say, what are the things you shouldn't say. And I can proudly say I've sought help and I've never felt better. If you need it, you should too. It's time we come together as a community to break the stigma that surrounds the two words that we're here to talk about today, mental health. Thank you.